Chet, you guys trailed for about 41, 42 of the minutes tonight. What did it take mentally, and what did you see from your team to be able to hang in there and gut that one out?
Like I told you out there in the post game, just trusting each other. Continue to do what we've done all year in those situations, and we were able to come out on the winning side. But even if we weren't like last game, we're going to continue to trust each other and do what we've done all year, and that's what we plan to do going forward.
Changed offensively before.
We had some big shots, but again, those shots don't happen if we don't trust each other. It could be easy to say it hasn't worked up to this point in the game, and then just start taking shots that are harder than those ones, just because those ones hadn't been going in. But we made the extra pass. Sometimes it was 2 or 3 extra passes, and it turned out in good shots for us.
Sure. I watched you curse at yourself while missing shots pregame. Obviously, a few misses. What did it take to ice those free throws at the end of the game internally?
Just trusting all the work that I put in. I'm not perfect. I don't make every single shot, but I was able to put myself in a place where I needed to be to make those shots.
How much pressure was there to win this game tonight? So it wouldn't be 3-1 going back home.
I'm not going to try and downplay it at all. It's a lot of pressure to win that game. You never want to be in a 3-1 situation. It's obviously a lot better to be 2-2 going home. To play a 3-game series with home court advantage.
Most of the night, guys didn't have it offensively, but just think about the way you guys were able to find ways to be effective in this high-pressure situation.
Yeah, again, I feel like it comes down to who we are. We're not a team who's just going to be like, we're going to win when we make shots, and we're going to live and die with that. Even when one aspect of what we do isn't going for us on that night, we have a lot of guys who are able to do a lot of things out there on the basketball floor, and defense is one of them. I feel like we really held our hand on defense tonight, and that won us the game. We haven't been scoring 120 points a game, so being able to hold them to 100 or 96 points was enough for us to get it done tonight.
Offense for the first 3 quarters obviously was a struggle. What kind of calming influence does it have when Shai gets cooking there in the fourth quarter?
There's some points in the game where I'm doing the same thing you guys are doing, just kind of being a fan of what he's doing, and when some of those shots go in, just kind of making a face like, that's crazy, but he's been doing it all year. I've seen him do it since I got here, and that's just who he is. A tough shot maker, but he does a lot more out there for us than just that.
And you mentioned the trust. Some of those plays, he's hitting you for a 3. He said, I think it was casing for a 3. When he's got it rolling like that, for a star to make the right reads and the right plays, what does that say about Shai and just kind of the way this team operates?
Yeah, it says a lot about who he is, but it also says a lot about how smart of a basketball player he is. He knows when he has it going, the other team's not just going to let him just, beat them one-on-one. He's going to see a lot of different things, and he's been seeing all types of different coverages, game plans, for a long time now. He's been a really good player, and he knows all the right reads to make, and he did that tonight, and he put a lot of trust in us, and we were able to make the plays that we needed to make to come out with the win.
More specifically, what have you seen Shai's relationship with the concept of trust look like throughout this year?
Just continuing to make the right play even when he doesn't have to. He's somebody who can make something out of nothing, and he can not make the right play and still score or still make an amazing shot. And there's times when we need him to do that, and there's times where we need him to make the right play. And I feel like tonight he found a great blend of when to do both.
Chet, Mark was just in here talking about your guys' uncommon ability to stick together through hard things. I know it's not like some Disney movie where somebody gives a big speech, but who are the guys in the huddle who really helped you guys stay even keel to make this comeback?
I don't think it's one person. I think it's everybody. you know, everybody's doing their part, coming ready to play, bringing the energy. You know, Kay got out there and gave us big minutes tonight. You know, he was everywhere. Every time I saw a missed shot, he was right there for the offensive rebound. Defensive rebound didn't matter. He was out there making tough plays. And, you know, we got a bunch of guys who've seen a lot of situations like this. Obviously, we have a bunch of guys who haven't either. A lot of us are new to this playoff stuff, but we got a very mature group that knows what it takes and is willing to do whatever.
You guys went 23 of 24 on free throws, which in a lot of ways would probably be the difference. I mean, do you feel that as the game's going on?
I missed the only one.
It looks like.
I mean, free throws are big. I missed one, right?
You got the stat sheet right there. You tell me.
Yeah. Free throws win games. Obviously, the game looks a lot different. We might be sitting here talking about different things happening if Luka makes that other free throw. And obviously, if I make that free throw early on in the game, it's a whole different story too. So those are extremely important. And again, we have a lot of players that are, you know, really hard working and put a lot of emphasis on making free throws too. And you know, we were able to convert there tonight.
You did make those two late. Were those the two biggest free throws of your life?
I'd say because of the circumstances, like this playoff game and everything, on the road too. I'd probably say yeah, but earlier in the season, I hit 3.
Warriors game?
Yeah, 3 to tie it. So I'd probably say that's bigger because like we were losing the game. Today we were winning, so it was like, you know, you miss them, you can still win the game, but in that situation you had to make all 3 to go to overtime just to try and win the game. So I'd probably say that one, and this is right behind it.
Anybody else?
You mentioned the pressure
one.
of potentially going down 3-1. Is the mood for yourself and the rest of the locker room, is it more just like confidence building as you guys get this win, or is it a sense of relief?
Yeah, anytime you win, it gives you confidence. But we can't let it be arrogance. We have to get back and figure out how to be better. You know, because the Mavs are going to do the same thing. They're going to try and be better for next game, and that's what we expect from them. So we got to expect it from ourselves too, and come back to be better. The job's not done, obviously, and neither team feels like, you know, they're out of it. So you know, we got to get in there and get ready to battle.
You guys held them to 15 points in the third quarter when your offense as a team wasn't really gaining traction. How did you guys dig in during that period, and do you feel like that changed the game there?
Just defense. How many points did they score?
How many points?
96.
96.
Just kind of sticking to it on that end, and that's kind of been the series though. There hasn't really been a lot of high scoring games in the series, but man, I think we were just able to kind of buckle down defensively and execute a lot of stuff we were trying to do. Made a couple adjustments, and I think that kind of helped us win down the stretch. Just sticking with it.
Through 3 quarters, it felt like you was taking some of the same shots that maybe last game required. Just down the stretch, the kickouts, the spray outs, all the decision making you had. Like, what level of trust does that take, and what's been your relationship with the concept of trust this year?
There's a balance that you have to find. When to attack, when to pass, when to make the right play, when to not make the right play, and trust your skill. Something that I battle with a lot and try to be really good at. And a lot of great players battle with it and try to be really good at it. But ultimately, it just comes down to, for the most part, taking what the defense gives you, and trusting your teammates. You need them to win at a high level, and that's clear as day. And I want to win at a high level, so I have no option.
You mentioned times where you have to not make the right play. Can you think of instances like that tonight?
Not off the top of my head, but I know, like, probably one of the shots I shot in the fourth quarter probably was double contested. I felt I had a good couple minute stretch there late in the fourth, and kind of just trusted my work and my hot hand.
You said you can. What do you think? Then?
Hit like 8 in a row or something. Like, just kind of like some of them probably look like tough shots, but it's stuff that he works on, and I think that's like part of it. Like, you work out to get those shots, so I think to people watching it probably is like, oh, he should have passed it, but like those were shots that we wanted him to shoot. So but yeah, down the stretch he was great. Like, I don't know how many he hit in a row, but kind of just kept us in the game the whole game.
On the backboard.
Yeah, like exactly.
Yeah, that was like that one. Like,
There you go.
that was ill-advised, but just trust your work. Yeah.
You talk about that stretch, like you had 4 in a row. Do you feel like that was one of the bigger stretches of your career to this point?
Maybe, yeah, probably most meaningful. This is probably the most meaningful game I've played in my career. Game 7, my second year in the bubble, but yeah, probably I would say. Sure.
Game 7, second year in the bubble. How have you evolved as a leader, especially vocally over time since then? And how does that matter right now, considering where you guys are?
Yeah, I've just grown through experiences. That year, there was a lot of like personalities and leaders on that team. Chris Paul, Dennis Schroeder. A lot of guys that like lead in their own way and do it at a high level. So just being able to kind of sit back in my second year in NBA and watch that, kind of learn from it, and then also ultimately do it in my own way so it's authentic and taken seriously.
You've been on Kyrie a lot this series, taking some turns on Luka. Why do you think you guys have been successful limiting them as you have been, especially tonight, 27 points and 31 shots for them?
I think everybody's getting ready to rotate and, kind of scramble out of situations. They put you in a lot of, like, tough binds and, I think we've had good grit the whole time, just kind of stick with what we want to do defensively and kind of just live with some of the results. But, it's a tough task, so it takes a village to guard guys like that. Like, it's not, like, one-on-one, We don't want to leave, like, for example, we don't want to leave Lou on an island with Luka consistently. But yeah, just kind of being ready for kind of next man up, ready to help, and kind of just be there for each other.
Shai, you guys got 65 points through 3 quarters. They're swatting all kinds of things in the paint. Going into that fourth quarter, what's kind of the feeling that you have and the approach that you have going into that quarter?
Yeah, be aggressive, but be smart. With a team like that, you have to have really smart attacks and good. We call them like rim decisions. They're so good at the rim with such good size. Even though it feels like open or a close shot, it ends up being difficult. So just finding the one more, finding the spray, finding the open shot, but also at the same time being aggressive if the opportunity presents itself to let it fly.
Didn't have it going offensively tonight. Found ways to be effective. 4 steals stands out. You just talk about the mindset and the ability it takes to kind of forget about those missed shots and continue to be aggressive and find ways to be effective in this high pressure situation.
In the playoffs, I think what I'm kind of just getting comfortable with is like you're gonna have to take some tough shots, but you can't let that really like affect the rest of your game. So trying to get in there, rebound, just be ready to make plays. I got to go down on the other end regardless, make or miss and guard Kyrie, or be able to switch on to Luka, or play small when we do. So just trying to rebound, make the right pass for our guys, and just kind of be ready to play the other part of basketball. There's like 95% of the time, you don't have the ball, so try and hold myself accountable to do other things if, offense isn't going. That's only half the game, and, like I said, trying to rebound more, play hard on defense, and, not hurt us on the defense end.
Shai, you mentioned some of that internal battle. How much is that sort of like compounded whenever you're really rolling, you're in a zone, and it gets to the end, and like a lot of guys would just play hero ball the rest of the way, but you continue to be unselfish and like hit some guys for some threes that really put the game away?
Yeah, it's a feel out thing. Game 3, I shot like a a pull-up three I missed, and I probably shouldn't have shot it. So it's like a make or miss thing. If it goes in, I'm a hero. So like I have moments. You just work through it, and try to find. I honestly just find myself working through it and trying to find the right balance, and trying to be aggressive with it at the same time. But more often than not, trying to make the right play.
The difference between, going down 3-1 and now tying the series up is obviously immense. How much are you thinking about that during the game?
Not a lot once you get into like the swing of things and what's going on. It's hard to focus on anything other than what's in front of you with each possession. But like all day, I could feel it. I knew what the stakes were tonight for sure.
Hey, what was the conversation there at the end with Kaysen? Like, was there some miscommunication there? Like, what was that?
Oh yeah. When I was yelling at him. Yeah. So we were gonna so we were up 3 with 9 seconds left, and we were going to this is common knowledge. We were gonna foul so that they go to the free throw line and don't get like a 3-point shot. And Dub was right there about to foul. Queso went to double team and left somebody open, PJ Washington, who's been shooting the piss out of it. So I was very confused. But yeah, it was just a miscommunication. I apologize to Queso after. I felt bad. He does nothing wrong all game, and the one thing he does wrong, I yell at him, but we're good.
Your coach mentioned tonight that you guys have an uncommon ability to stay together. Jacob, how has this team helped you, not even just on the court, but off the court, grow this season?
I think a lot of it trickles down from last year. We were together through a lot of we had a more up and down, like bumpy season last year. I think that made us really close. But I think a lot of it, is like who we bring in, who we've kind of drafted. We have a lot of good guys, and that breaks down into like people in the facility that, help us day to day. So we have a lot of good people in the organization. So very like family oriented environment, which is, this is my only team, but, I don't think it's like that on every team. It's something that nobody on the squad takes for granted. So just kind of going through rocky parts of the season last year kind of brought us closer together, and it's a lot of stuff that we haven't seen, but we've been through a lot of it together, and I think that kind of brought us close.
Yeah, there's nothing comfortable about playoff games. Playing against really good teams, high stakes games, and there was a lot of game pressure on us. I thought our ability to just endure, their early punches, and just not being able to like get back in the game for a long time. Our ability to endure that was big time. We held them to 15 points in the third in a quarter where we had 22 points, and we were still laboring offensively. And then in the fourth, the offense turned for us. But to be able to defend like that, in the third, to just keep, to win the quarter by 7 in a quarter where you have 22, it's just great endurance by the team.
In terms of the execution of the defense, what maybe jumped out to you about the way that you guys were able to dig in and get stops in the second half?
We executed well. We've executed well most of the series, to be honest with you, in the half court. But you said dig in, we dug in. That was, I thought, what the game was. We just were scrappy, and fought like crazy on that end of the floor. The execution was good, but the effort, physicality, all that was better.
Mark, what'd you see from Shai in terms of the grip he sort of had on the game until the offense sort of came around?
Yeah, he didn't. He missed some chippies, stuff that he normally makes in the flow of the game, and just like our team, he endured. He obviously, took that thing by the horns there, late. But the other thing is, he had an unbelievable blend and really found his teammates on a lot of plays and continued to find them. The shot Chet hit, the shot Lou hit, that he sprayed to them. That's him passing the ball at a critical time, down 2-1 in the fourth quarter when the team is shooting 20-something% from three. That just is unbelievable trust and confidence for him to rise to that in that moment. And for a young, ambitious star player, I was blown away by those plays.
considering what Lou and J-Dub's nights looked like to that point, maybe midway through the fourth, just what'd you make of the plays they made down the stretch?
Huge, and that's where the trust comes in. That's where this team has an uncommon, ability to stay together. Tonight we really had to pull together. That was a really, really difficult game, and it went, it did not go our way for the majority of the game. And like I said, the ability to kind of endure when the wind is in your face, just keep the game in striking distance and letting it turn, was just, incredible maturity, I thought.
Did you think that overall you won the battle? You made the free throws late with a rookie up there doing it, but also just the overall discipline. Did you feel that was more there tonight, especially late?
I thought our situational basketball down the stretch was great. I thought the guys executed like crazy, in the last minute and a half of the game. That's critical when you have a lead like that. We get a shot every time down. Yeah, really, really good.
Why do you think you guys have been so successful limiting the scoring from their stars, from Luke and Kyrie, really all series, but especially tonight?
Yeah, I mean, and last game for those guys to have 44 in the game combined, that's really hard to do with their potency. I just think you just got to be able to take punches against them. They're great players. They're incredibly talented. They have great confidence. And you just got to be able to kind of take hits, when they make tough ones and when they make great plays. And that's what I thought we did tonight. And we've done that all series. I think, that's kind of been stable throughout the series. And tonight we found some stuff offensively. I thought we generated better shots, especially in the fourth quarter. But we have to keep that up, obviously, to continue to compete in the series.
On Joel's last question, guys didn't really have it offensively tonight, but found other ways to be effective. I mean, would you think about the way that they found those ways to be effective in this high pressure situation?
Yeah, I mean, to me, that's the mark of a winning player is, willingness to do the invisible things, and willingness to commit to those things even when, the game's not going your way. And like Jalen Williams, goes in there, Jay Will, and gives us huge minutes in the fourth quarter. Gets a couple offensive rebounds. He had the play that we got the challenge on. He, but he missed layups. He, gave up an offensive. It's like he had to take his punches, and he just keeps coming. And it's just incredible fortitude by the players.
Navarro gets slimmer and slimmer as the game goes along. Only 8 turnovers tonight. Tied him for offensive rebound. Didn't let them go crazy on the offensive glass. I mean, just seemed like you guys were big in those little things all night. What did you think about that?
We were even on the glass, even in second chance. So we split that, and the turnovers were great. I thought, despite the fact that it was a difficult shooting night, and despite they're playing great defense, Dallas, right now. And despite the fact that they're playing great D, we missed a couple opportunities when we did get our cracks. For us to kind of win that possession battle was huge tonight.
You mentioned you guys executing down the stretch. Did it look like there was some confusion after you fouled on kind of the up three? But I assume that was the strategy. What kind of happened on that play?
The plan was to foul up 3. We fouled up 3. Kaysen was trying to load Irving, and Irving got kind of stuck. So I think he didn't want to bail him out. Dub didn't want to bail him out, and everybody was on the same page in terms of what the strategy was. And then I think the way that he came over half court, picked the ball up. So they kind of bailed on it, and then Shai made a heads up play there to go get Washington.
Shai hit 14 twos tonight, I think not at the rim. How much of it was about his just kind of times difficult shot making down the stretch, and how much did the offensive kind of script from you guys change in the fourth?
Well, the one he threw over the backboard was a difficult shot, that's for sure. So we'll throw that one aside. I thought he had, like I said, a good blend. He was on the he was really on the gas. They're selling out at the rim, and when you shoot it poorly, it only they're only going to get more aggressive, and that's where he found his spots. He was able to get separation. I thought he got some clean looks that he can make. I actually think he missed some clean looks that he got earlier in the game, but that's where they're loaded up. He's got it cooking. It's a close game. We're down 2-1, and he's just spraying the ball over the floor. Even before we started making them. I thought that was big time performance by him. Not just the scoring. I've seen him score like that before, but just the trust in that moment. For a guy like him. Oof.
He's the kind of guy that on the box score, when you watch him this year, doesn't pop off the page, but if you watch the game, sometimes the most impactful player on the floor when he's out there. And tonight's game specifically did a lot of things. What impressed you most from him?
just how easy he is to trust as a 20-year-old player or whatever in that game. You know, he's guarding a ring, he's guarding Doncic, he's banging threes, he's where he's supposed to be. You know, he's just doing exactly what we're trying to accomplish in the game plan and the system on both ends of the floor. And then, you know, from a competitive standpoint, you know, he's a big-time competitor, even at a young age.
You mentioned your team's uncommon ability to stay together. I know you've seen this all season long, but as a coach, when you're seeing that, does it refresh or rejuvenate your passion for coaching?
I'll just, you know, this team is a pleasure to coach. You know, that's all I'll say. I mean, they're just a pleasure to coach. I'm in, you know, many times over the course of time, I've been in awe of our team. You know, and tonight was one of those nights.
Well, with Garrett, in the first half there, what were you hoping to see from him, and did he provide it for you guys?
I was hoping to see exactly what I saw. You know, great energy. That was a fight. You know, that game was a brawl, and he's a brawler. You know, so I thought he had his hands on balls in the first half, offensive rebounds that we maybe could have gotten that we didn't, but he just elevated the level, you know, of competitiveness, physicality. I give him a lot of credit. He's been, you know, seldom used even in our last series. And his readiness to go in there and be completely in character, despite the fact that we haven't gone to him very much, was very impressive to me.
You mentioned Shai and trust a ton just now. Just how have you seen him grapple with the concept of trust as someone, you know, as talented as he is, and kind of with that level of weight he has on him in a series like this?
I don't think he grapples with it. His instinct is to be a member of the team. But I think when you're that talented, not that I am, so I can't speak from experience, but when you're that talented, the balance of your own aggression and your own confidence and the trust, you know, the functionality, the early plays to your teammates is very difficult to strike. You know, that's just hard to strike. And that's why players usually don't strike that very early in their careers. You know, if you look at any great scorer, usually they develop that. Irving, I think, is a great example that's developed that over time. You know, he has a great blend, you know, of his offense and his teammates' offense, and his team plays better because of that. And he's obviously a veteran player that's got a lot of experience. Shai's on that path, but he's on an accelerated path there. You know, he's still a very young player for somebody as accomplished as he is, and that's why it's so impressive to me.
You guys went 23 and 24 on free throws. How big a story is that to you? Especially considering I think they missed 11.
Yeah, it's huge. You know, tonight we needed everything. You know, we needed the stops, we needed the free throws, we needed the offensive rebounds. I mean, you score 100 points and win. You know, we were scraping for every advantage we could get, and we did.
Mark, I know you're a sophisticated basketball mind, but do you ever leave a game thinking, how the heck did we win that?
No, you know, not with this team. You know, not with this team. These guys they've proven time and again that they can rise to competitive challenges. And they've proven time again that, you know, even when we don't rise to a win, they rise to it and compete together and throw their best punch even in losses. You know, I've felt this way after losses before. And so, you know, I'm at the point where I'm not surprised by, you know, our team now, our challenges. You know, we're in a series right now. It's a 3-game series. We go back home.
You guys have, I think, dug pretty big holes to start the game. I think the last 3. Obviously, you changed the lineup for a second time in the series to start the second half. Do you have to look at that potentially?
I look at everything all the time, you know, but at the end of the day, I'm making the decisions. You know, I made every decision I could to win Game 4 tonight. I'm going to make every decision I can to win Game 5. That's playoffs. You know, we're just doing everything we can. We're scraping for everything to try to get every advantage.
Mark, when it comes to clutch shot making, a lot of people think of it just like when the clock's going down, wanting to zero at the buzzer. But Shai continuously just like kept you guys within arm's reach of like a lead so you guys could get to that final push. Can you just talk about the importance of that?
Huge. You know, like I said, we needed everything tonight. We needed the stops, we needed the rebounds, we needed his, you know, that was a tremendous individual performance from a scoring standpoint. You know, I think that speaks for itself. I think anybody that's watching that game saw that. But that's why I'm driving to the passes and stuff, because that's the invisible value that he added to the team tonight, and the confidence that your teammates get when you're doing that time and time again, even on a bad shooting night. You know, that's worth its weight in gold.
Going back to the question about the starts, I just wonder how much in your eyes the starts of the game. I just wonder how much in your eyes you can attribute that to, you know, the way Dallas is choosing to defend Josh.
It's a combination of things. You know, I thought Josh was a positive tonight in the game, wasn't he? What did he have? Like, we won the minutes when he was on the court tonight, and they're guarding him like that the entire game. So it's never one thing. It's a complex game. You know, it's rebounding, it's defense, it's offense. You know, that's what contributes to taking a lead. That's what contributes to a deficit. You know, same factors go in, but it's never, you can never put it in a vacuum.
He was +6.
He was +6, thank you.